Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are around Australia, wherever you are around the world, to SimShed Broadcasting and Saturday Night Racing for the Weekend Warriors. I'm JP, joined tonight by Mark Johansson. We're at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Pumpkin 350. Mark, how are you this evening, mate?
Very good, JP. Hope you're over your little bout of illness and back to 100%. I know you were missed last week, and I'll apologise to the fans for not being live on air last week. But yeah, we had a slight emergency, didn't we, mate?
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of a trip away, trip to the hospital there that couldn't be avoided, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the stream last week. But I'm back. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm very close to it. So looking forward to some great racing tonight, make up for what we missed last week.
I'm quite sure there will be some very entertaining racing at this track tonight. Another little, I wouldn't class it as a short track, but it's short enough. It's just over a mile long, so or just over 1.5 kilometres long. So yeah, it should be some entertaining racing, I'd say.
And I guess with that, let's go to the track notes and let's have a look at what we've got for tonight. So tonight we're at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Pumpkin 350. Maybe, Mark, you'd like to take us through a few of the details here of the Speedway. Give us a bit of a rundown of the place.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, the track length is, as I said, 1.703 kilometres. We've got a very long race tonight around here, 205 laps, which should see a tank of fuel last about 70 laps. The race distance, 348.9 kilometres. Fuel restrictions is none, so we have full tanks of fuel at 70.7 litres. 4 to 5 pit stops, but that's not going to be for fuel, JP. That's going to be more for tyres, but they're going to have to be careful because there's only 4 sets of tyres on offer here tonight. The fuel burn is under a litre. The track conditions are set for today's date, and the race time's at 1:30 in the afternoon. Air temp's 25. Track temp's getting up there. It's getting up there where it's going to be a little bit slippery for the guys. The wind's at 5 k's from the north, so they'll have a nose wind coming down the main straight.
So that'll slow them up a touch, and some fairly heavy tyre degradation as well, I'd say.
Yeah, I reckon you're going to have to see a double stint on at least one set of tyres here tonight. But we'll wait and see. Some of these guys will stretch it as much as they can. But I don't think they're going to get a full tank of fuel run on their tyres. As I said, it'll be about 75 to 76 laps. I would imagine where guys will have to come in and take tyres.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's a very high bank on this track either.
No, mate, this is probably one of the flattest tracks that NASCAR goes to.
So there'll be a lot of push in the cars as they're going through the corner there. So they're going to have to manage their tyres. Here we go. A little bit of a tank slapper there from our in-car camera. So cars at the moment, they're going through their practice session, almost about ready to finish their practice, and they'll be going through their qualifying. So, Mark, talk us through the qualifying session. What's the story with that? How do they go through their qualifying?
Well, they get 2 solo laps each, so they'll definitely be trying to get some heat into their tyres on that first lap, and I'd say a lot of the guys will get their fastest laps on their second lap.
So for guys like me who do a lot of, I guess, do a lot of course racing, how do they go about getting heat into the tyres with these sorts of cars?
A lot of guys will ride their brakes all the way around the track to start with, and you'll see like standard V8, the wiggle side to side. A lot of them may turn the brake bias to the front because you want the front to turn in, so you'll want to get those heat into that front tyres, but also you need to get some heat into the rear tyres. So you'll probably see a couple of guys doing their burnouts as they take off from pit lane to get some heat in their rear tyres.
Right, so really it's pretty much similar sort of scenario to the to a course car, but they've got a lot less time to get heat into their tyres.
Yep, that's exactly right. Very little time.
And we're seeing cars coming around the, I'm not quite sure what turn that is, but we're seeing them coming around there, maybe getting the power down a little bit too early and then losing the back end of their cars.
Yeah, and it'll probably, I missed that. I was just looking at something else. The other thing tonight too is we've decided to use the pit entry on turn 3. So you're going to see a lot of guys diving off on the back straight. That's just to cut down on the spinning cars and hitting that outside wall as they come into pit lane.
So is this one of those tracks where they're going to stay in 4th gear? They're just going to have to manage their braking points and turn in at each end of the track.
Yeah, I did a race here the other night, and what I was doing is I was off the gas very early, then dragging the brake or trailing the brake around corner to about mid-track. Then as I was getting on the gas, I lifted my foot very slowly off the brake pedal to give you the drive out of the corner, and then again a big dragway down the both back and front straight.
Yeah, let's actually go on board with this car here and have a look at his at a little bit of his driver inputs.
So you're full noise here, and you're off the brake there. Oh, sorry, off the gas. You'd be trailing your brake around here, still on the brake, but getting back onto the gas. And right there, you'd be lifting off the brake pedal and back 100% gas. And then a big drag off the gas, onto the brake, just dragging the brake, drag the brake a bit more, a bit longer. And then on the hard on the gas there, we're still trailing the brake. So they're going to have to be careful that they don't get any brake fade too. Probably find guys will be adjusting the brake bias through the race.
Yeah, so really it's really going to be about being as smooth as they possibly can through this section here. Smooth off the brakes, trail the brakes, smooth onto the throttle and coming out of that corner to, I guess, to minimise the amount of wear that they're putting on those tyres.
Yeah, definitely, JP. What you'll find too is a lot of guys will get loose and get taily mid corner, so they'll have to be careful. I was interrupted there before. The banking on this track is very, very low. It's only like 7 degrees of banking in the turns, and down the back and front straight, you've only got 1 degrees of banking. So it's fairly harsh.
Yeah, and we're watching a lot of cars coming through there and just having the back end rotate on them, just over rotating and sliding out. So this is going to be really interesting for the race.
Most definitely is, mate. It's going to be patience is going to be the real big trick here tonight. Guys are going to have to be really, really patient.
Yeah, so there's another one just coming out of that corner, just getting the back of the car just a little bit taily. There you go. A couple of them there having a nice slide. We're coming to the end of practice, so they'll be into their qualifying soon.
Just some quick notes before we start qualifying. Most wins here in the real world is Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick, both with 4 wins each. The most poles in the real world and lies with Jeff Gordon. But the most laps led here, also Jeff Gordon with 1,372 laps led. That's unbelievable in the real world.
Holy smokes, that's a lot of laps led.
It is. Here we see Paul Jackson. This is one person to watch tonight. I think he'd probably be in the top half of the field in qualifying.
Yeah, so you can see there, like you were saying, he's taking the top part of the field there, just dragging the brakes on the car, trying to get as much heat as he can into the tyre before he starts his lap.
Yeah, a lot of guys in the race you'll find will sit that mid-track, and then once they get some heat in their tyres, they'll get down onto that yellow pole line and run around there if they can.
And you can see the totem board is lighting up now with the times. Drivers are starting to lay their times down. We see Troy Davison go to the top of the timing board. Couple of the faster cars haven't come out yet. We're still waiting on Hamish Gallagher to come on out. Barry Neal hasn't come out. Ruben Phelps is yet to do a lap.
Yeah, Aiden hasn't come out. There's quite a few guys that haven't come out. Scott McClintock's come out. I'm surprised at that time. He was fairly quick here through the week.
It's a long race though. 205 laps. You know, once again, it's going to be a matter of playing that waiting game tonight.
Most definitely. Barry Neal looks like he's out on the track there now. Oh, there's the dark horse of the field, Steve Williams with a 29.6. That's not a bad lap there.
Yeah, Steven's been coming on week after week, just getting better and better. So yeah, watch out for him in the race.
I must comment too on with Ruben and Aiden paint schemes there. They formed a new team for themselves, driving the Toyota now. So that's a paint scheme that we really need to have a look at some time through the race, JP. It's very impressive the way they've done it.
Darren McKenzie's on a fast one at the moment. He's running 2 purple sectors. Let's see what he does here. No, doesn't quite get there for this lap. Puts him to the top of the table though. He ran 2 purple sector and a personal best for the last sector, which is enough to put him to the top of the table. We still haven't seen Hamish Gallagher come out.
Oh, look at that! Look at those top 3 though. There, JP. You got a 29.64, 29.65, and a 29.69. How close are they?
Yep, and Michael Skurlock just goes to the top of the table with a 29.61. Looks like we've had a bit of an incident here with Dylan Davies. He hasn't been able to complete a lap.
This will be an interesting lap, and we'll see what Barry does here.
No, didn't have enough time to put a lap in.
So this is an interesting front row. We've got a Ford with, we've got a Chev with Michael Skurlock. I think he's in on the front row with a Ford alongside him.
Well, let's go through the starting grid and see how they're going to line up. So on the first row, Michael Skurlock with Darren McKenzie. The second row, Stephen Williams and Reece Bolletto. Third row, Troy Davidson and Gary Wellman. Fourth row, Ruben Phelps and Aidan Schultz. Fifth row, Mark Smith, Paul Drady. Sixth row, Tristan Koch, Cade Donnelly. Sixth row, Adam Ariel with Chris Connor. Seventh is Paul Jackson, Scott McClintock. Then we've got Jamie Nankervis with Dylan Davies, Hamish Gallagher and Barry Neal. And then rounding out the field, Jason Holsworth. Those three cars did not post a time. So we're getting ready now to get underway. Pace car will take them around. Will it be one lap or two behind the pace car, Mark?
I'm pretty sure it's 2 laps here, just to settle everyone down, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to ask you, JP, who's going to lead into the first turn?
I'm going to say Michael Skurlock. He'll get a decent jump. He's where he wants to be. Michael Skurlock is one of these drivers that you've got to watch out for. He can sit at the back of the field for 90% of the lap and then come out of nowhere and win it. So sitting on pole position, he's I think he's got everything to lose for the start.
I think so. If he can just get off with a reasonable start, I think he'll lead the first tyre stint.
And interestingly enough, Darren McKenzie is another one of these. He's leading the championship, but we haven't seen him up the pointy end of the field. He's usually down the mid-pack and then makes his way up through the field during the course of the race. So once again, this is going to be interesting to see what sort of strategy that these guys are going to use at the start here.
Most definitely. Well, they all look like they decided to line up perfect almost. So yeah.
Right, pace car's in, so they're going to go this lap. Here we go.
Who's going to be the bravest? It looks like Michael's going to get the lead.
There's not much in it. Darren's keeping with him. He's just pulled ahead there.
These two guys do not need to be racing early. They need to fall into line and work together, because these two will be able to gap the field if they work together.
Yeah, you can see that Darren does not want to fall in behind Michael there. In fact, he's got a bit of a lead now, but no, that's going to be it. He's going to drop down now. But Darren's obviously got a better run out of that corner there from the high side, but he's sticking to the high side, which is unusual. Now they all form up.
I think for this first section, and we may, I'm hoping we see some racing, but there's also you need to work together, just settle down, get some heat in these tyres. The tyres are starting to come up to the temp now after 3 laps. And just really settle in for this first stint.
Yeah, a lot of laps to go for this race, and it's all about really starting to find a rhythm and I guess get to know who you're racing against to see where they're stronger and weaker than you.
Yeah, definitely. But then you've got guys like you'll probably find Barry Neal's just sitting down the back waiting, playing his waiting game. You know, there's a lot of strategy here where you can push early and get out to the front, or just play that patience game, and I think that's going to be the key here tonight. Whoever can be the most patient and stay on the lead lap will be there at the end, towards the end of it.
Yeah, 100%. At the moment, it kind of looks like the high side of the high line of the track is working.
Oh, we've got a wreck. We have a wreck in the back straight coming out of turn 2.
Looks like it could be Troy Davidson.
No, it looks like Aiden and one of the Sim brothers cars. Oh, just got loose. So that's not quite having enough heat in that tyre yet, and just the rear end broke loose on him. Let's hope Aiden didn't get too much damage out of that. Looks like there's a fair bit of damage done to the 23023 car.
Yeah, once again, what do you think? Maybe pushing a little bit too hard too early?
I think so. Just got on that gas of that fraction too early, mate.
Yeah, probably something that could be easily done. Race nerves and whatever, but yeah, these guys have just got to take a deep breath and just ease into the race. You know, we're lap 7 of 205. There's a long way to go. A lot of racing ahead of us.
We may see some guys duck in, but duck in and take fuel, top up, maybe try a different tyre strategy here, different fuel strategy.
There you go, Scott McClintock. He's come in. He's probably put a little bit of fuel in his car, and he's heading back out again. So Darren McKenzie could be in the box seat here, although if the high line is working and the low line isn't working as well, we could see Michael Skurlock fighting for the lead on the restart.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd be playing a few games, trying to push Mr. Skurlock up track a little bit, try and get into that middle groove to get that start.
So what were your... Yeah, I mean, at this stage, I would probably be thinking about dropping behind the leader and taking advantage of the slipstream.
Definitely, although there's not a lot of streaming here, not like the big tracks where you need that stream. But again, with that nose wind, you probably save a little bit of fuel if you drop into second place and let the leader do the work for you.
I guess it's all about how much or how little fuel you have to put in the car on that last stop.
Definitely. And I really wouldn't be surprised if, I know this is not a good thing to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if we come down to a green-white overtime at the end of this. Be our 5th one for the year, I'd say.
Yeah, look. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The guys, you know, they have a few early offs, but then they settle into a rhythm, and then with the 20 or 30 laps to go, it's on, and the racing starts to get pretty heated.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, they're forming up again now. Lights are off on the safety car, so last lap there, and they'll be back to racing. All right, here we go. We're almost about to get back to racing now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 1
Race car will pull off here. Darren's got the jump.
Yeah, nice jump there.
And he's come straight up tracks. He's straight in front of in front of Michael.
Yeah, he really wanted that high line. It seems to really be working for him too.
Yeah, yep. He's got that worked out. I think we'll probably see him stay up there for a long time, I'd say. On board there with Steve.
Carrying a new livery for tonight, so instead of the satin white, they're running a satin black livery on the car. Looks very smart indeed.
Most definitely.
And he seems to be happy to sit there in third place, just shadow Skurlock.
I think we're going to have to come up with a name for Mr. Williams. He seems to be the stalker. He's just always sitting there waiting for the mistake in front of him.
Yeah, he's certainly no slouch himself as far as racecraft's concerned, but yeah, he likes to play the smart game. Just sits back and waits, buys his time, and then waits for that opportunity. And when it presents itself, he certainly does everything he can to take advantage of it.
Most definitely.
Well, a little bit of a skip there from Gary Wellman just coming out of that corner. Back into the car, just skipped out sideways on him, but nothing too bad. And look at this, Hamish Gallagher's already put up 12 places. He's now in 7th. And he's not mucking around either.
No, he's another person I think will be there at the end. Like, you can't count out Hamish. Although Barry looks like he's moved up a few spots also.
At the moment, Hamish is the only driver that's in the 29. His last lap was a 29.96. Everyone else is in the 30 or 31 second realm.
That's a huge difference for this early in the race.
Yeah, his consistency is certainly there or thereabouts.
Most definitely.
And we see here going back to the lead here, Mackenzie and Skurlock still battling it out for first and second place, and this could really have an adverse effect on them. Like you said before, they should be working together to try to get a break on the pack, but it's just not working for them.
No, for a short track, for a mile track, this is probably some of the closest racing we've seen this season, and really no one wants to work, seems to want to work together. I mean, to say, I would have expected some of the Chevs to link up and run together, but yeah, they're not.
No, and all of this is actually playing into the hands of Gallagher, because he's now into 4th place, and he's only a 10th of a second behind Williams.
Yeah, I think he'll have 3rd place in a lap or two, if not by the end of this lap.
And I think Skurlock can see him coming. He's trying to get a hurry on.
I can tell you, Hamish and Mr. Skurlock have had some ding-dong battles over the time.
There we go. Hamish has just made his way into 2nd place now. Williams is right behind him though. He's fighting him for that 3rd place again. He's on the outside, but I don't know how that's going to work for him. Gallagher's just ahead of him, and he's starting to close in on Skurlock. Yeah, this battle's only a matter of time.
Williams has touched the back of Hamish.
Oh,
and sent him
no.
on.
There we go. Look at this. The run is over. Let's have a look on the simsnap.com replay here. Oh, no.
Let's hope all that car looks damaged on the rear end.
Yeah, and look, that's the risk you take. Hamish obviously decided that he didn't really want to qualify. He wanted to work through the pack, and it was working for him. But that's the risk you take when you start driving through the pack. Something like that can happen.
Most definitely, mate. Most definitely. Unfortunately for Hamish, I think we'll see him go in for repairs. That car has got a lot of damage on the rear end.
Yeah, that's certainly unfortunate for him, and we can see a couple of other damaged cars there circulating. So now we're 21 of 205 laps. You think anyone's going to jump in for fuel? Looks like Darren McKenzie's showing that he's going to come in, but is he going to try and pull a fake on them?
I think I seen in the background shot there, JP, some guys taking advantage of ducking in the pit lane straight away. I just there's a car. Scott came in, Christian's come in. So there's a few guys that have decided to come in and probably take fuel only.
Yep.
We might see if we can get one of these guys up into the booth and have a quick chat with them. And see how we went.
Also, some of those cars have been damaged from the previous incident, so you think maybe they're coming in for fuel, getting a bit of a repair, and getting out before the safety car comes around again.
So, JP, we've got Scott McClintock here. Have a quick chat with him. You got a copy there, Scott?
Yes, sir.
So, quick fuel stop, or did you take tyres there?
No, just topping off on fuel for later on in the race, so I get it all done quickly.
So, what's the car feel like? What's the track feeling like at the moment?
Pretty slick at the moment, but it's got some good pace, just biding our time at the moment. Letting it all play out until the last bit of the race, I think.
All right, mate, we'll let you get back to it. Anything to add, JP?
No, that sounds about that's about it. No, good luck for the rest of the race there, Scott.
Thanks, guys. Have a good call.
Thanks, mate. Thanks very much for your time, mate. We'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, JP. Just a fuel stop for him. Topping off and trying to make his tyres last longer. And we can see from where he's running at the back of the field. But he's a crafty man. He'll spide his time, stay out of trouble, and look at putting that big push on the last 30 laps, I'd say.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, 23 laps down, the pace car has come out. We were in a caution period. It kind of makes sense to jump in and just top up the tank and just keep putting a little bit of fuel in each time. You might drop down the order, but there's a lot of time. You've got a lot of time to get back up through the order. And, of course, on the last stop, that's going to pay dividends.
Most definitely.
So now we're back with Mackenzie and Skurlock here. Let's see on the restart if Mackenzie tries to jump up and get that high line again. Pace car's coming in.
Don't count out Ruben in fourth there either.
Mackenzie got a great jump, and straight away he gets to the high line. Skurlock just drops down to the lower line, and it's business as usual.
Yep, back to the lead. I don't know if Hamish made it back out or not, mate.
Yeah, he's back out. He's currently in 13th place, and he's rolling.
That's good to see.
Back end of the car looks a bit like a crumpled beer can, but if anyone knows how to drive around that, it's going to be Hamish Gallagher. But I guess on a track like this that isn't that aero dependent as far as slipstreaming, can you have a little bit of damage on the car like that, and is it going to make a big difference?
It will make a difference to the rear end. The danger he's got there is not being able to get enough downward air on the rear of the car, so it will make the rear of the car a bit lighter. But if he takes his time, he'll stay on that lead lap, or he'll be close to getting back onto the lead lap. So it's it's not a great hindrance.
He's lost a bit of pace. He was in the high 29s, and when I say high 29s, he was circulating in the 29.8, 29.9s. He's back down doing low to mid 30s now, so it's obviously had a bit of an effect on him.
Yeah, it definitely will have a bit of effect.
But once again, it also could be the tyres are getting a little second hand on the car as well. You jump up to the head of the field here, and it's just same old, same old. Skurlock putting pressure on Mackenzie. Mackenzie just keeping, holding that high line and being able to keep his car just ahead of Skurlock. Now they seem to be sort of having a bit of a breaking away from Williams behind them, just 0.6 of a second away from Williams there. So I don't know if they're going to try and break. No. Skurlock's having another look down the inside now, and it looks like it could be a good move, this one.
Yeah, it looks like he may make this one stick. But we've also got a ding-dong battle there for third and fourth too, between Steve Williams and Dylan Davies. No.
Ruben Phelps.
Ruben Phelps.
Yeah, Ruben's all over the back of Steve Williams' car, so yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. And there we go. Skurlock's having another look. And looks like he's made this one stick. But Mackenzie tends to get a really nice drive out of the turn there. Not this time. We're on board here with Rispolisto, right behind Gary Wellman. He's just menacing the back of his car. He seems to he's falling a little bit, getting a little bit lost there coming out of the corner, but he's got good pace going in. So maybe he's just coming in a little bit too hot and having to slow the car down a bit too much mid-corner.
Yeah, if you come in too hot, you'll get a big push, and that'll put you up into the wall. So, mate, yeah, by the look of that on the onboard camera there, he's coming in that fraction hot. He probably needs to just back off that a little bit sooner and trail that brake a little bit better instead of jumping on the brake.
Yeah, he seems to go in the corner really well. He catches up to the back of Wellerman, but then Wellerman gets a better drive coming out of the corner.
I'll tell you, if you can't jump back the car, Mark Smith and Barry Neal are having a ding-dong battle behind that.
Yeah, Mark Smith was all over Barry Neal. It's just made a move there on him.
See, Barry's got that low line working about a lane out from that pole line. So Barry's the king of the pole line, commonly known as the bottom feeders, but he just knows how to make that bottom line work.
Yeah, Barry loves to run the bottom line, so yeah, like you said, he certainly knows how to make that bottom line work for him. Actually,
So,
we'll,
so JP, you know what I think it's time for?
I think it's time for for us to crank up the volume.
Let's do it. Let's crank up the volume.
And there we go, running with Barry Neal there. Like we're saying, he is the absolute master of running that low line. Just dispatching Reese Bolitho, sorry, in that lap. And we're now starting to see battles up and down the field here. So we've got battle for 8, 9, 10 going on. Battles for first and second, although Michael Skurlock and Darren McKenzie have sort of started to separate themselves from the rest of the field there and from each other. Third, fourth, fifth, we've got a bit of a battle there for third and fourth, sorry.
I think we're going to see this all night. Guys are going to bunch up and then get a run away from each other and bunch up again. It'll be interesting if we get some green flag pit stops. So, yeah, we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah, it's Cade Donnelly just putting the pressure on Mark Smith here. Oh, look at that. Yeah, looks like he's got a run in on him here.
He's done well. He's been able to get the car in underneath him. So, and I think he's going to take that spot.
Yeah, he's made that spot. Really nice move there.
But look who's right on his tail. Hamish Gallagher.
And he's closing as well. So even with that damage on his car, Hamish is being able to make some moves.
Oh, we touched the wall there.
So Steve Hoppert, Barry Neal for the win, Mr. Consistency. That he is very, very consistent. I mean, looking at the field at this stage, you look at the first, you look at the top 10, and I wouldn't want to pick a winner at this stage.
Well, right, if I had to pick a winner right now, I'd either say Michael. Oh, yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Like, you look at that top four, and they've all had multiple wins this season, except for Darren. And Darren, I don't think Darren's had a win, but he's just missed consistent.
Yeah, he keeps that car. He keeps that car in the top 5 for most of the rounds, so he keeps on bagging those points. But right now, Michael Skurlock's gotten a bit of a breakaway on the rest of the field, so I think he's trying to make some hay while the sun's shining.
Yeah, definitely. Just going back to the points, we've got Darren leading, but if you look where Paul Jackson is, he's a lot further down the track, and he's the man that needs to be making the moves, because he's in second place, 98 points behind Darren.
Now look at the Paul there. I mean, his car seems fairly stable. It doesn't look like he's really struggling. Maybe he's buying his time. He knows there's a lot of racing to do, and he's just waiting for the opportunity to start making his way through the field.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to say we're only on lap 44 of 205, so there's still a lot of racing to do.
Look at this. Barry Neal on the inside of Gary Wellman. There you go.
Nice move. And watch Barry drop back down to the low line here. Oh, no, he stayed on the track there.
I think he might have just got balked a little bit there by Ruben Phelps. Nothing intentional. He was just carrying a lot of pace, and I don't think he expected Ruben to pull up as quickly as he did. But look at him going right down the low line there, and he's almost looking to get 2 for 1 here.
I can tell you, Ruben and Barry won't want to touch each other, fellow Kiwis, and they definitely don't want to touch each other. They want to keep moving forward for the Kiwis.
Look at that! Within 1 lap, Barry Neal takes Steve Williams and Ruben Phelps, and now he's running in 3rd, up 17 places. Thank you very much. Having a look at the tower here, we can see some of the movers and shakers, and there we go. Barry's going for second. I dare say Darren's tyres are starting to protest a little bit.
I think so. I mean to say, if you look at the tower, there's some big moves upfield. Hamish has come made up 11 again. But Barry Neal up 18 spots. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, fantastic run there by Barry.
The biggest loser is Troy Davidson. He's down, what, 13 spots, 10 spots. That's, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. But have a look at this. Skurlock has just checked out. It's like he's bought his bus ticket and he's gone. But you know, has he started pushing a little bit too early? You know, a bit too hard too soon.
With Michael though, he can make those tyres last. You might find that he might start dropping the times off again until Barry starts to catch him, and then he might have another push.
And we'll probably be getting pretty close to pit stop time for. We've had a couple of caution periods.
Oh, we've got a spin. We've got a spin in the back straight.
And it looks like that's Stephen Williams. Let's go to the replay and see what this is all about. Oh.
And it just broke loose on him.
And he was able to keep it away from the wall, which is a good thing. But, yeah, he has dropped a lot of places.
And we did not see a yellow come out for that. Yeah, the reason there would be because he spun to the infield and it wasn't on the racing surface. So wouldn't be surprised to see Steve go down a lap here. Unfortunate for him, but by the looks of it, he's been able to catch up onto the tail of the field again, so he may be lucky to stay on the lead lap there.
Yeah, and as we see, Mackenzie is starting to get swallowed by the competitors, and we've seen this quite a few times. Darren Mackenzie gets out really strong, and his tyres just start to drop off, and he gets swallowed up, and then he comes back strong again.
Yeah, he's just got to be able to play his cards right and work those tyres to his benefit. I know some of these guys will be hoping for a yellow flag very shortly because they won't want to be doing green flag pit stops.
Well, this will play into the hands of Michael Skurlock if he needs to pit under the green. Oh, look at this! Look how close they are. They almost touched. Yeah, this will play into Skurlock's hand. If he has to pit under green, he's got plenty of time in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so you got half a lap almost now. So if you can we jump on board with Skurlock? You have a look and listen to how much he's getting off the gas into the turns.
Let's have a look with his driver inputs here, and we'll be able to see.
So he's staying in fourth. He's on the gas hard, on up to 220, 230, 40, 50, and then he's backing right off the gas and dropping it back down to about 150 around midsection, and then back on the gas. So he's basically getting off the gas as he's going in, and letting the momentum take him around the corners, around the turns.
And you can see it's really smooth, really fluid movement. So it doesn't seem like he's burning up the back tyres at all.
No, he'd be looking after those rears.
And just looking there from the onboard shot, just nice and smooth. Let's have a look at it on turn in there.
Just very steady steering input.
Yeah, like he's just feeding the lock into the car there.
So by the look of his steering wheel, he'd be running 14-to-1 steering offset. Probably a -6, -7
Oof.
degrees. Oh, bit of a lose there.
Now, could that have been any wash from the car ahead of him?
Very well could have been. And maybe just misjudging it a little bit on how quick he was closing on the guys.
So Barry's been able to eat into his lead a little bit. It was, at one stage, it was a 4.5 second lead. It's down to a 3.7 second lead now. Lap times are very, very similar. Skurlock last lap was a 31.23. Neil was a 31.09.
Sorry, mate. I just thought I seen someone in the back straight go for a little spin, but it looks like he's got it under control before anything majorly happened. Darren McKenzie's in the pits, so 60 laps.
So we could be seeing a flurry of pit stops now. Skurlock goes around one more time.
I can say this. It's good to see Chris Connor back running with us tonight. He's been missing for a while. He got caught up in that last big storm we had here in Victoria, and didn't have any power for a couple of weeks. And then Telstra was very slow to get the internet and everything back onto him down there. So it's good to see him back and running with us.
Yeah, fantastic to see him back, and don't get me started on Telstra.
We'll leave that one alone before we get ourselves in trouble, I think.
Absolutely.
We got Dylan and Paul. There's no love lost there. If you jump to that one, JP, we got Dylan and Paul bumping and rubbing and doing some real hard racing together there.
Yeah, look at this. A little bit of bump drafting there, maybe.
Oh, definitely. Oh, we've got a yellow. We missed that one there.
Looks like we've got an incident here with Jason Holsworth. Let's go to our simsnap.com replay and see what this is all about. And this is going to play right into the hands of the leaders.
Worn tyres too, and just lost the rear end and into the outside wall.
Oh no!
And Tristan had nowhere to go there.
You know, I mean, once you've got problems like that, the best thing you can do is just hold the brake and stop your car.
Definitely. That will be looked at after the race. Excuse me. the post-race guys will look at that and make a judgment call on it. As people may not know, most of these yellow flags and stoppages get looked post races. We don't have live race control. It's all done post race. So yeah, so here's the big first. Well, everyone's just about into the pit lane by the looks of it.
Yep, looks like everyone's going to go into the pit lane, and Skurlock has got a massive lead going into the pit lane there.
Yeah, I'd say he's going to take 4 tyres, if not the working side, right side tyres.
Let's stay with him and see what happens.
He's decided to take the 4 tyres, so he'll be full of fuel and ready to go.
No loss to his position there. And there you see it, pit stop time, Skurlock 14.5, Neil 14.4, so a good stop there by Neil. Wellman was a 14.8. Phelps, long stop, 16.4, Bolito, 14, I think, was that a 14.9, Donnelly 14.5, Smith 14.9, Jackson 15.1, and Davies was a 14.5. So everyone around about that mid-14 bracket mark.
Yeah, Christian here's gone in, so he's going to have to be quick. He's probably going to go a lap down here.
There he goes. So this has really played into the hands of your top 4, and it's given Reese, Cade, Mark, and Hamish Gallagher a bit of a bump up as well.
Yeah, definitely. So the guys at the front there, they'll get waved around the pace car if they the guys that are lap down. May get a lucky dog here. Is anyone just a 1 lap down? Aidan Schultz may end up with the lucky dog and get a wave around if he didn't pit that time on the green.
I'm thinking it's going to be Darren. But Darren McKenzie was probably the biggest loser out of all of that. He came in a few laps before the incident, so he pitted under green, which meant he lost a lot of positions and effectively went a lap down.
Yep, Darren's had the wave around, so he'll come back onto the lead lap. Sorry, my counter just a bit slow to tick over there. But what'll be interesting, JP, as we know in most motorsport, yellows cause yellows. So they've all got fresh tyres and full tanks of fuel again. So it's like running on the start of a race again.
Yeah, 100%. And this is going to be interesting on the restart. Barry was closing in on Michael at that point there, but I'm just wondering if Barry is just going to sit back, run his race, and try to just hold second place here. Maybe drop down to that low line as soon as you can. Here we go again.
And they're off green. Michael got a great start there. Unbelievable. And look in the background, Hamish dive into that in that pole line.
Yeah, awesome start by Michael. Barry got oh no, here we go. That's Chris Connor.
Yep, and that'll probably, no yellow there. So again, because he's gone to the infield and been able to keep it going, there's no yellow. It's unfortunate for Chris because he does try very hard.
Just got it crossed up on the exit there.
That'll be cold tyres and full fuel again.
He's been able to he hit that wall side on, but yeah, I'm wondering what sort of damage that's going to have done to his suspension there.
the front left of the car didn't look too bad when he come back on, so he may have been lucky.
And Michael Skurlock did, wastes no time. Fastest lap of the race, 29.74. Barry Neal did a 29.75, and Ruben Phelps a 29.94.
That's not far off their. That's only what 300ths of a second off their qualifying time. So that's pretty good in this late in the race already, and
No, that was really good, but yeah, I'm just wondering. I'm getting the impression here Michael Skurlock is going to try and push to see if he can break Barry's back.
Yeah, if I'd try and do the same thing if I was in Michael's position, try and get that gap again and get so he can back off and just relax.
Not really working for him though. Barry is sticking with him. Last lap, Skurlock at 29.87.
We've got another spin down the back straight, another one that's lost it.
Adam Ariel, yep.
Yep.
And yet Barry Neal did a 29.88, so he's matching Skurlock for pace here.
Yeah, it's might be a 2-horse race unless Hamish can get through, and which I by the look of it in that back shot, Hamish is making a move for 4th position there. Oh, we've got a caution. We have a caution.
We've got an issue here with Chris Connor. Let's have a look at this. This time straight into the wall.
Now that will do some damage to him. Facing the wrong way, so yep.
So Scott's down in 14th here. I wonder whether he takes this opportunity to go and stick a few litres of fuel in the car. Although you'd think maybe it's just too soon after the last pit stop.
Yeah, I don't think that but he's a man for doing unusual things. So Darren's in for fuel.
Yep. So Williams, Mackenzie, they're in for fuel. Yep, just have a bit of a top up.
And the 08 there, is it, in the background?
55 Adam Ariel's in for fuel. I think Paul Grady as well has come in. Tristan Koch has gone down a few laps. I think he's been in there for repairs now.
Yeah. The other thing too, JP, is that most of these guys will be wanting to try and make 50% of the race, because we've got the rule, if you don't do 50% of the race, you're classed as a non-finisher.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got to, what is it, going to have to be for them 205 laps. So we're looking at 102 and a half. So I would say 103 laps.
Yeah, 103 laps they've got to complete to get points.
Yep.
So in saying that too, like Jamie's taken my spot in Team Snafu, so I can do a bit more commentating for the year, and it looks like Jamie will stay with us in the next season. We're hoping to get a commitment off him in a couple of weeks, like as we're only 13 weeks left in the season, so it's not long, and some of these guys will be looking to sort their teams out for next year already.
Yeah, absolutely. Drivers moving across the new teams, forming their own teams, staying with the teams that they have and consolidating. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens and be able to bring everyone a bit of information about that.
Yeah, definitely. So next year, I'll be back racing, and I'll have a new a teammate. I'm not going to say who or anything because the deal's not 100% set in cement, but it's very close to being done. So yeah, it's looking good for Team Snafu for next year.
Fantastic. So looking forward to bringing that information and letting everyone know as soon as you let us know.
Definitely will, mate. Definitely will. Well, the lights are out on the pace car, so I say we're going green next time by. Just quickly on teams, Ruben and Aiden have joined as a team. Very, very impressive paint schemes on their cars tonight.
Here we go. And another great start by Michael Skurlock there. And Barry Neal was a little bit late to the party, and Ruben Phelps has already just gone around him.
And Hamish is trying to make a move on the outside of Barry there.
Oh, look at this. Down on the inside. Ruben's going to argue, but yeah, the job's done. There we go. Hamish Gallagher up in the third now. Even with that damage on his car, he's managed to drag himself back up into third place.
Yeah, very impressive drive. You see from that shot there just how much damage he's done to the back of Hamish's car.
Yeah, it's not looking pretty at all back there, but he's holding his own and made up 16 places now to be in third. Barry Neal has made up 18 places to be in second, so you know that Barry's not going to give this up without a fight.
Oh, definitely not.
But what this is also doing, it's allowing Michael Skurlock to start to skip away.
And what Hamish and Barry need to do is just not fight each other, just work together. Even with them being different makes of cars, Barry being in the Toyota and Hamish in the Ford, got to work together to close that gap. It looks like Hamish has got second place.
Yeah, he was just waiting for that opportunity. You could see a couple of laps before that Barry tends to come out a little bit wider and then come on into the apex of that corner. So he waited down low and just waited for his opportunity to try and outbrake Barry into the corner, and it worked for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And now he's starting to go after Michael. So really, with that damage on his car, it doesn't really look like it's had too much of an effect on him.
No, it doesn't look like it. Again, like with that damage on the rear, it's not really affecting the aero that much here. So it may even be able to be helping him with the way it's breaking it up, coming over the rear end. And I know that sounds funny, but it can work that way sometimes.
Well, you look at the last lap time there, Skurlock a 30.26, Hamish Gallagher 30.33. Lap before was a 30.4 by Skurlock and a 30.12 by Gallagher.
Yeah, some impressive times there for this late in the race.
Yeah, and he's starting to apply the blowtorch. He's just sort of making headway there, catching up to Skurlock. I think Skurlock, he doesn't need to be too worried. He can just race his race at this stage. I mean, Gallagher's the one that needs to put all the effort into catching him and trying to pass him.
Yeah, definitely. Tell you what, that Mr. Mackenzie's making some moves again. He's coming through the field.
Yeah, I just noticed that and was going to have a look at him and mention that that restart has really worked for him because now he's sitting in 7th place. Look at this. I think this is the most pressure that Michael may have had all night. He can see Hamish coming up on him.
I know this is a nice thing to say, but I do hope Hamish. I hope he wins, but I hope he doesn't either because it means another Ford victory for the season. We can't have Mustangs closing in on the Chevs.
Now, come on, we're supposed to be impartial. Well, we're supposed to.
Oh no, it's but as I said, mate, you know, it's good to see Hamish back running with us. I know he can't make it every week, and when he does, he certainly puts on a show for everyone.
Yeah, 100%. It's great to see him back, yeah, and giving it a red hot go.
Looks like Ruben's tyres may have gone off just that fraction because he's starting to get swallowed up by the Simbros boss cars.
Yeah, last lap there for Ruben was a 30.81, so yeah, looks like he's starting to struggle a little.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of a bit early in the stint to start to struggle.
Yeah, but tyres. What I found is some sets of tyres you put on, they're not. They just seem to go off that fraction quicker. But Darren's underneath 41 for a pass. Yeah, tyres. Some tyres just seem to go off that fraction quicker. I always found the last set of tyres I put on always seemed to work just that fraction better. I don't know whether it's because I just changed that driving style just that fraction without realising it, or whether the tyres are just a little bit different.
And I guess with these oval tracks, the level of grip changes pretty dramatically as the race wears on too.
Yeah, definitely. The more cars you get, and the more cars you can get out on and doing some practice, that helps. And then when you start racing, you know, you've got sometimes up to 40 cars laying rubber down, so you get on most tracks, you get 2 lanes, if not 3, on the super speedways.
So does I guess the grip vary and change. So sometimes, you know, maybe at the start of the race, the low line might be the line to keep, but as the race progresses, the high line might be the better line, and then it may go back to the low line or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. It just depends. It's like most tracks, even in the V8 supercars and other motorsport. You see guys get right in onto the apex of the corner, and then as the race gets on the you can open that corner up a little bit more and get a little bit faster, being a little bit wider. So the same thing with these. Sometimes the level of grip just changes that fraction.
Yeah, okay, and let's go back to the front here. It looks like Michael Skurlock has just been able to hold off that charge from Gallagher, and Barry Neal is buying back into this now too.
If we see this go green all the way, this will be a ding dong battle, especially with green flag pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be an absolute cracker. You can see here all 3 cars taking a different line around that corner.
So what do we got there? We got 2 Toyotas and a Ford battling out for the front.
I feel kind of dirty. No
Not that
Chev.
we're, not that we're biased. I was just going to say, JP, where are our Chevs?
No, no, we're never biased.
I think by the looks of it, our first Chev is in 4th position.
Yeah, Gary Wellman, he's been there or thereabouts all night, just holding down that in that top 5 there, just circulating nice and consistently.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. He's another driver that's come a long way since starting with us at the start of the year. He's just keep plodding along and getting better and better each week.
It's great to see these guys, starting off and sort of, I guess, as their skill level improves and as they keep racing with some of these faster guys, they just start getting better and better and coming on.
Yeah, definitely. And like a lot of people think it's just get in the car and turn left. Like as you can see here tonight, you've got to trail. You've got to know how to trail the brake. You've got to know pick your racing line to get the maximum grip. You've really got to feel the car to know when your tyres are starting to go off. So it is a lot harder. And when you're racing door to door with 30, 40 other guys, it does tend to get a bit hair raising at times.
Yeah, absolutely. We see here that Skurlock, Gallagher, and Neil have just broken away from the pack, and they're starting to run their own race now.
Yeah, definitely. What's the gap back to 4th there, JP?
Just a little over 4 seconds.
That's a bit scary. We've still 105 laps to go.
Yeah, these guys are certainly in a class of their own, but there is still a lot of racing left. I mean, it looks like it's a foregone conclusion, but we've got 105 laps of racing left to go. So
We've got an issue down the back straight. I don't know.
Smith, Mark Smith there.
And yep. And I think it's a 41 car that's coming to the pits too.
Well, let's see if we can have a look at this on the replay. Yeah, look at this coming across the grass there. Let's see if we can have a look at it on the simsnap.com replay. Oh, no!
Oh no.
Poor Mark was just a passenger in all of that. He was an innocent victim.
Definitely was. And I'm actually quite surprised that didn't bring out a caution.
Yeah, well, I guess they kept moving. I don't know if that would have signalled no caution. And Mark Smith is still circulating.
Yeah, no bonnet though.
There we go. During all of this, Barry Neal managed to make a move on Hamish Gallagher. Let's go through and see if we can find this on the replay. It's come from a long way back.
Way back. Got a great run down that back straight and got in low underneath Hamish in 3 and 4.
Yeah, that was a brilliant move.
I know some people use it a lot, but that was a textbook move for oval racing, mate.
Oh, looks like we've had another incident here, something with Cade Donnelly. This is before. I think this is the wash up from the incident with Mark Smith.
Yeah, we're using the tonight. We're using the pit entry off turn, or just before turn 3. So a bit of a cross country driving.
And Paul Jackson and Dylan Davies here. This has been going on for quite a while, and looks like we have another incident with Adam Ariel. It's all starting to happen now.
Yeah, people are starting to lose that little bit of concentration. Oh, all by himself, rear end broke loose.
Really good job to be able to catch that.
Most definitely. You would have thought with that grass, so you would have ended up in the inside Amcar railing.
Yeah, no, that would have definitely woken him up. So he's lived to fight on, and away he goes. So look, once you get a slide like that, that would heat up your tyres quite a bit. So can you bring the temps back down on these cars?
You can. You just got to. Again, it comes back to easing off that gas pedal a little bit, going in a little bit, and just easing ever so slightly on the acceleration to try and bring the temps down. But in saying that too, they do take a bit of punishment, and they can put up with one or two of those, but not too many of them.
Yeah, I would have thought, you get a slide like that and it's going to upset the tyre. You put another slide on it, and it's kind of like the V8 supercars. You put a slide on it, it upsets the tyres. You do it again within the course of a lap, then it really starts to affect the tyres, and then the drop off is just phenomenal from there.
Yeah, definitely. And their crew chiefs will be telling them what the tyre temps are and everything. A lot of these guys would have their crew chief in their ear saying, telling their temperatures, telling the track temperatures and everything to so they can adjust their driving.
Look at that. Hamish Gallagher all over the back of Barry Neal. Looked at the outside there. I think he might have looked for an inside run, but Barry protected that. I think once Barry gets caught out, it's very hard to catch him out a second time.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say Barry's will protect that inside line for the rest of the race now that he knows that Hamish is trying to get down there.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like Hamish's car is maybe sliding a little bit more than Barry's. I don't know. I could be just reading more into it than what there is.
Yeah, well, going on the last pit stops, I reckon within another 4 or 5 laps, you'll start to see some guys diving in the pits for their third set of tyres. Or they may try and make the tyres last a fraction longer.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting there to be stops now, but obviously with the 2 safety cars there, and with all the safety cars that we've had, pace cars, because we don't call them safety cars in Cup car racing, the stops would have extended a bit.
Yeah, most definitely. But I would say it had only extended it probably 5 or 6 laps. So I reckon around 125. So probably another 10 laps, and you'll really see guys starting to dive to the pits.
Yeah, so once again, Skurlock's been able to capitalise, and it looks like that bottom half of the stint is where Skurlock really is able to capitalise. He's able to sort of keep his tyres, hold his tyres, and just be a little bit quicker than the guys behind him.
Yeah, yeah. And again, if you go on board, you'll probably find now that he's got that gap, he's buttoning right off on the gas again, and just letting the momentum take him around the turns.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really need to push too hard or do anything silly. He's got a fairly commanding lead at the moment, and if he does have to pit under green, it's going to work well for him.
Most definitely. What's the saying? It's his to lose. I mean,
100%. But
he's still what 90, 100 laps out, 90 laps out, or so he's still got a long way to go. But yeah, it's everyone else has got a race to catch him, and it's his to throw away. So you'll probably find that he will just be really getting out of that gas around the turns.
yeah, 100%. I mean, for where he is at the moment, he can control the race. He can control the pace of the race. And he doesn't need to do anything silly, although you'll probably find that he's not going to be buttoning out of it too hard because, I mean, when you do that, sometimes you can make little mistakes, as we see Hamish Gallagher range right up on the back of Barry Neal's car, but he just can't make it. He just can't get past him at the minute.
No. Tell you what, there's some good shots there.
Yeah, and there's our drone cam here.
You can see the different lines there. Like Barry's down, stays in that second lane, where Hamish just drifts up to that third lane, and then back down into that second lane. So yeah, um, it's very different racing. Like different cars work better on different parts of the track there.
And it kind of seems like Hamish is getting slightly better drive out of the corner there for where he is. But it also seems like here, Barry's just protecting that inside line. Next set of corners, he'll go a little bit high and then come back down onto the inside. I'd say that this is probably where Hamish is going to try to get up close enough to be able to make a move on Barry.
Yeah, definitely. And the lap car there, like the lap cars will be playing a part in it. So some of them will play a little bit of a hindrance, and then others will play right into their hands and let the guys go past.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know this league has a rule about lap cars being nice to the lead drivers, but in Cup car racing there is no the lap cars don't need to get out of the way. They can just race.
Yeah, definitely. But even in real racing, it's an unwritten law. If your lap's down, you always try and be or not be a hindrance to the leaders. But we've placed a rule in there that if you're 3 or more laps down, play nice. Like if you're racing someone on the same spot as you, or racing someone for the same spot, you're open to race. Just let the leaders go and don't be a hindrance to them. Right? So just to try and keep the racing clean without any silly mistakes happening.
Yeah, 100%. And look, on top of that, you never know when the tables are going to be reversed, and you're going to be the lead car, and going to want them to get out of your way. So you know, there's always a bit of payback if you do the wrong thing.
Yeah, definitely. And look, the in-race radio, which we don't have access to, the guys will be talking between each other on the sim racing radio, saying, you know, like Mark would be saying to him, I'm on fresh tyres. He'd be letting them know that he's fraction quicker, so there wouldn't be an issue. Although in saying that, Hamish just touched Mark and turned him around. So, but it doesn't look like that's brought out a yellow either.
No, maybe the pace car's gone out on strike.
Sitting in the back stalls having a cup of tea and crumpet.
Oh, look at that!
Jeez, that was threading the needle.
Yeah, that's put Hamish right back into the thick of things, hasn't it?
Definitely has. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Hamish, he's dropped right off.
Just having a look at his lap times. That last lap time was a 37.
Oh, we've got a
Here we
yellow.
go.
We've got a yellow.
Looks
So
like an incident here with Dylan Davies. So let's go to the simsnap.com replay and see what this is all about. Oh, no.
I can tell you there is no love lost between these two. They always seem to find each other through the race somewhere.
Now, this is really interesting. Mark. Michael Skurlock has got a fairly handy lead on Barry Neal here. He's coming up to the pace car. If I was Barry, I would be trying to get right up onto the back of Skurlock's bumper before he goes into the pits.
Yeah, well, they've missed pit entry there, so it'll be if they go around. When they go around next time, I'd say pit lane will be open. So it's will work into Barry's favour.
Looks like it's open now. Skurlock's gone in. Neal is still 1.5 seconds behind him, so that's going to give Skurlock a massive advantage if he just has to do the right thing, not miss his pit box, stop on the marks, and happy days.
Definitely, and you'll see him take 4 tyres, I'd say, and a full tank of fuel.
Let's have a look.
There's the right side going. And the left side. So he's taken 4 tyres, and the fuel covers the tyres, so that's not a worry. And there's a nice race behind him off pit lane.
Yeah, so let's have a look at these times here off pit lane. So Skurlock now is a 14.4, Wellman 14.6, Phelps 14.4, Neal was a 15.2, so he lost some time there. Gallagher was 14.4, Bolitho 14.7, Mackenzie 14.6, Jackson 14.7, and Davidson was a 15-second stop there. So once again, this has fallen right into the hands of Skurlock. He managed to get in with he was 1.5 seconds ahead of Neal when he got in there, but Neal obviously maybe made a mistake. Maybe I don't know if he was able to take on more fuel. There's nothing to suggest that he could have. So yeah, he's lost a few positions out of that one.
Yeah, definitely. We might see if we can have a quick chat with one of these guys while we're on the caution. I'll just see if I can get someone up here.
So just rolling around now with the pace car, just about to let the lap traffic through. Lucky dog.
So JP, we've got an old friend, but a new friend here in Aidan Schultz. You got a copy there, Aidan?
Yeah, got a copy, guys.
Hey, mate, not a very enjoyable night for you tonight. Seen you get mixed up in that early one. How's it all going now?
Yeah, it wasn't good early. Troy Davidson had a bit of an issue and got into me, but we've just been trying to come back. We got the lucky dog now. We're in 11th. We feel like we're going okay. So first night out for me and Ruben, and we're going okay. So we'll see how we go. It was unfortunate with the incident with Troy, but around here, that's what happens.
All right, mate. We're about to go green. We'll let you go, and good luck, eh?
No worries. Hopefully talk to you at the end.
Okay, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, here they go. Lining up side by side, ready to go green again. Pace car goes in. So Skurlock and Wellman here. Once again, Skurlock gets an absolute ripper of a start. Wellman not too bad at all, but he's being monstered straight away by Ruben Phelps.
Yeah, definitely, Ruben. Everyone now back on a level playing field, fresh tyres, full tank of fuel.
And have a look at this. Have a look at this, Mark. Barry Neal straight away. He doesn't mess around.
No, definitely not. And look who's right behind him, trying to follow him through.
Yeah, you watch Gallagher try to go duck down to the inside. Not on this one, on the next lap through. Oh, look at that. Neil had to put a lot of lock on there to make that corner.
Yeah, definitely. But the other interesting thing there, JP, is 3 cars back. Is another orange car. And if those 2 orange cars can get together, they'll work really well as a team.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure that's definitely going to be the plan. It's Barry will be telling Paul now, come on, mate, just get past those cars and get up right behind me.
Yeah, but look who's in between them. Like, you got Darren McKenzie, and we know what he's like on fresh tyres. So it's going to be a hard job for Paul to get up to his team, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much. You know, I've only got to get past 4 cars, but look at the quality of the drivers that you've got to get past.
That's right. And the guy that we were just talking to, Aiden's sitting behind Paul. So he's going to want to battle Paul and try and get that spot off Paul too.
Yeah, his car is looking fairly second-hand, although he's made a really good move there on the inside of Paul. Paul's having none of it. He's coming back at him.
Paul's got that outside line. That top line just seems to be given the better drive off the turn.
It's almost like Aiden's just trying to, maybe this one here is going to finish him off. He'll get that corner there and try to get up and cut off the front of Paul Jackson there to stop him from holding that high line, which he does successfully.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is where, with this close type racing, this is where your spotter comes in the big play. You've got, like, there's several different programs you can run for a spotter. Well, Paul touched the wall there, so it's a real big thing to have your spotter set up right, so you can get that clear call when you get just in front.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like Neil is just sitting there waiting for an opportunity, waiting for Phelps just to go a little high there so he can dive down the inside and try to make a move stick. But Gallagher's right behind him, and yeah, he's just given Barry the hurry on big time.
Yeah, definitely. It probably wouldn't be a bad thing to jump on board with Barry and just watch him for a couple of laps to see how much he closes up in the onboard shots from as you can see there from the outside, how close he does actually get.
There we go. Let's ride for a couple of laps with Barry. Let's crank up the volume. Ride for a couple of laps with Barry and see if he can make any headway. There you have it, a couple of laps there with Barry Neal there. Still can't find a way around Ruben Phelps, but yeah, still early days. He's looking here on the inside. Have a look at the car in front of him. Phelps is going a little bit wide, catching up, but Phelps gets a good drive out of that corner and away he goes. Meanwhile, while this is all going on, Michael Skurlock has been able to get out to a 1.1 second lead, and he's just maintaining that fairly easily. So, yeah, he's not doing too badly at all. But here we go. Barry Neal's having another look here. He's down the inside of Ruben Phelps. Looks like he might be able to make this one work. Gets that low line, but Phelps has got a good drive through here, and no. Neal is not able to capitalise.
Again, this comes back to countrymen not wanting to touch each other. I know that there's definitely no love lost between the Australians and Kiwis. So if there was an Australian there, maybe it might be a different story. But I mean to say, you don't want to take out a countryman and cause grief.
Oh no! Oh no, you might have spoken too soon there.
I think I may have.
Let's see if we can find that on the replay.
Looks like Barry has just got a great run coming off the corner.
Yeah, he's got a really good run coming off the corner there. Phelps goes down to defend. And right in the back of the car, but I think that actually might have saved Phelps, because he hit him fairly square on. Phelps got pretty squirrely, but was able to keep the car rolling.
Yeah. Now that's hurt Barry with his nose. Just got to hope that it hasn't damaged the radiator at all.
Yeah, and the one driver that capitalised on all of that was Hamish Gallagher. So once again, Hamish is in third place, chasing down Gary Wellman for second.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, when you were saying all of that, I was thinking to myself, yeah, look, I totally get it. You know, countrymen don't want to take themselves out, but you don't want to race 145 of 205 laps and take anyone else out, or even take yourself out. You would just be absolutely shattered. It's like you know, I don't know, running a marathon and stopping 3/4 of the way to go home.
Yeah, definitely. I mean to say, Ruben, you know, Ruben will fight back. I've just looking at a different camera view, and the back of the car doesn't look too badly damaged. Doesn't look like the rear wings are bent up that bad. It's only the low apron and everything. So Ruben may be lucky in that sense that he's not going to be dragging too much.
Yeah, it's a little bit wavy there at the back of the car, but yeah, hopefully. Well, it doesn't seem to have been an issue for Hamish Gallagher, so it might not be an issue for Ruben either.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at his time. His last lap time was a 30.8. So I mean to say, that's where most of the guys have been running it lately. So
yeah, and look at this. Hamish now is all over the back of Gary Wellman. So now, you're Gary Wellman, you've got Hamish Gallagher behind you. He's closing in like a Scud missile. What do? Do you argue the point? Or you just say, look, you know what? I'm going to step aside because right at the minute I've got a podium.
Well, I'd be stepping aside because you've still got over 50 laps to go. So I mean to say, you're probably going to take another set of tyres before the race is done. Take their last set. So I'd be saying, hey, have the spot. I'll come back and fight you later on. I know I've got the pace to run with you. So, yeah.
Which looks like exactly what Gary Woman did, and that's some smart racing, really. I mean, there's no need to tangle up with him if he's faster than you are. If you can stick with him, and then you race him with 20 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's the thing too, JP. Everyone forgets that this first 3/4 of the race, that's nothing. You got to buy your ticket to that last quarter of the race. That last 50 laps is where all the hard work that you've done prior come into effect.
Yeah, it's like you said, the 150 laps is like a preamble. It's really just setting yourself up to finish the race.
Yep, you've just got to be. Look, if you're two or more laps down from here, then your race is probably done. But if you're the first person on lap down, you can come back and get a lucky dog and dive in and take a set of tyres and fuel and come through and win the race. So you've got to be in that last 50 or 30 to 50 laps.
Yeah, 100%. It's just that 150 odd laps to buy yourself a ticket to the last 50 laps of the race.
Yep, they're most definitely, mate.
From here on in, we're going to start seeing these guys turn up the wick now.
I think probably another 10 laps, and you'll definitely see some more bump and run stuff happening. I mean to say, I'd even here with Barry closing in on Kay, I'd be just saying, take it, Barry. I'll come back and fight you later.
So I'd almost say give them a few more laps. Actually, they're probably in their window now. They could fuel up and make it the rest of the way from here.
Yeah, they could, but you probably wouldn't want to do this on that last set of tyres. That's what I'm saying. Give them another 10 laps, and you may start to see guys coming in. Just so they've got good tyres at the end. Whoever can last the longest and get the tyres at the latest point, well, they're the ones that you've got to watch.
100%. It's all about being able to manage your tyres here. First one that blinks, I think the first one that blinks, the rest of them will probably follow, but they're going to want to stay out as long as they possibly can just to maximise their tyre life and have the best possible tyres to race to the end.
Definitely. Like, what you don't want to happen is you dive into the pits and take tyres and then find 2 laps later you end up with a caution, because that will just ruin your race where everyone can then get in and get fresher tyres on you.
100%. And look at this, we talk about Darren McKenzie almost every week. You almost write him off. He starts strong and then he falls back again. He fell right back through the pack tonight, and now look at him. He's fighting for 4th place and he's coming on strong again. Yeah,
definitely. He's a man that just keeps plodding along. And as I said, he's not won a race this season so far, but he's had over 13 top 10 finishes and over 8 top 5 finishes. So that's put him in good stead.
Oh, look at that. Whoa, big moment there for Barry Neal.
Don't know whether Barry touched the outside wall then or not.
It looked like he went for it, but I don't think he actually hit it. But he knows that Darren is coming on strong, and he is trying to put some distance between himself and Darren McKenzie.
definitely.
Speaking of distance, once again, Michael Skurlock is all but checked out. He's about 1.8 seconds clear of Hamish Gallagher. I don't think Hamish is able to... I don't think he's got an answer for Michael. Their lap times are almost identical. 30.95 for Skurlock, 30.96 for Gallagher.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And not wanting to make light of anyone's misfortune, I guess. Had Hamish not had that incident, he probably would have been running away with this at this point in time.
I would think so. You know, that damage on the back, it will be affecting him. But as I said earlier, it's not a great deal, but it's probably enough just to keep him out of that top spot.
Yeah, 100%. But having said that, don't take anything away from Michael Skurlock. He has pretty much controlled the entire race tonight.
Definitely, you know, it's only those couple of laps that he hasn't led.
Yeah, it's just the just those few laps that took him to be able to get to the lead of the race. But once he took the lead of the race, that was pretty much it. He took control of the race, and no one's really challenged him since.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of challenges, look at this. Darren McKenzie is starting to get ever closer to the back of Barry Neal's car. That hit on the front of Barry Neal's car is probably affecting him a little bit. And Gary definitely knows it. Look at Gary's car; it's as clean as a whistle.
Yeah, I think Darren's got a little bit of damage on the left front, but that's definitely wouldn't be hurting him at all.
Once again, lap time very, very close. Last lap, Barry Neal a 31 flat, Darren McKenzie a 31.09.
Yeah, unbelievable times for this late in the race.
So, what would your strategy be at 165 of 205? What's your strategy, Mark? Oh, looks like I'm on my own at the minute. My strategy would be to just race as hard as I can, but Michael Skurlock is definitely doing that at the moment. His last pit stop was on lap 126, so it's going to be interesting to see how much further he draws this out to. Just gets a little bit taily coming through there, but you know, once again he's able to hold Hamish Gallagher well off. Although Hamish is starting to close in on him now.
Yeah, I think Mr. Skurlock will try and aim for about 170 to 175 and dive into the pits.
I'm going to call if Michael, as soon as Michael goes into the pits, everyone else is going to follow him. There's probably no gain in trying to go around for another lap. He's just going to get the undercut on you.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hard one, and especially the way he is on fresh tyres.
Yeah, and he's the one in control at the minute, because if Hamish was to dive into the pits now, he might come out a second faster than Michael, but Michael's got that 1.7 second lead on him, so he can almost cover him off in the pits.
Yeah, but again, it comes down to, you take the risk and dive in and take your tyres and then come out and have a caution, or are you in the pits when the caution comes out? Because then you'll have to come out and go behind the pace car.
Yeah, really interesting dilemma. This is going to, yeah, there's going to be an interesting race, this one.
You know, Scott and I got caught out earlier on in the year. We thought we'd stay out, and we had no choice but to come into the pits because we were on a vapors. And as soon as we went into the pits, a caution come out, and yeah, we ended up a lap down, and that was the end of the night for us.
Now, this is an interesting question. When Hamish had his damage, did he come into the pits at all? Because if he did, he would have taken some extra fuel.
I think he did. I do believe he did dive in, so he'd be carrying a little bit more.
So that's going to be a net gain for him on the next stop. He's not going to have to take as much fuel to finish off.
No, definitely not.
So once again, that's going to put a different spin on things as well.
I'm just going to interrupt into one of the other drivers, so I'll be back in a minute and just see if I can get a read on how much fuel they've actually got on board still.
All right, just promise them that we won't tell anyone.
No, I won't.
So it's sort of ebbing and flowing at the moment. Hamish Gallagher is 1.8 seconds behind Michael Skurlock. At one stage it was about 1.5 seconds, and Hamish was starting to catch up to him. So he's Michael Skurlock has been able to pull out a little bit of a gap. Barry Neal has also started to get Darren McKenzie. So that's playing into the hands of Barry there. Although we don't know what sort of damage he's carrying. We don't know if he's got any effect to the front of the car with that damage there to his radiator. So this is going to be interesting going to the end of the race here.
So JP, I've just snuck into a team radio, asked the question. One said go away, and the other one said I'm good to the end.
So okay, which one do we believe?
I believe the one that says I'm good to the end.
So they're going to try and carry it through to the end of the race on the tyre set that they're on.
Yep, definitely. But in saying that too, I can guarantee you if there's a caution, the whole field, if they've got another set of tyres, they'll be in for them.
Yeah, 100%. No one's going to stay out on worn tyres if they get a caution and they've got enough laps to be able to carve their way through the field on fresh rubber.
Yeah, definitely. And the other net gain may be just the working side, the right side.
Very interesting. We saw Ruben Phelps there catch right up to Gary Wellman. Matter of fact, he's putting a move on Wellman now. Looks like he might be able to make that stick. He's on the inside. We know the inside works really well for Ruben.
He's carried a lot of speed through there, and you can see he's come in hot, and he's gone underneath, and then he's got the wash and gone up high, which has given Gary the inside run in the 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's he just needed to knock off a little bit of that speed to be able to make that move stick. So now he's got to have a go all over again.
And I can tell you there, that would have been millimetres in that when Gary come up track then.
And look at that. No, he's covered this time. No, he's tried to cover this time. It's worked. He's been able to put that move on Gary Wellman.
Some good, hard, fast, and close racing there.
I tell you what,
some millimetre racing in it.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I cannot believe these lap times. Last lap, Skurlock 30.07, Gallagher 30.08, Neal 30.07.
So what's that? They stopped on around 125. So that's fairly old tyres, and yeah, some very quick lap times there.
Yeah, they're doing really well, but the net gain there is they're not catching up to each other. The gap is stationary between them. So Skurlock has a 1.8 second lead over Gallagher, who then has a 2.1 second lead over Neal. So That's not closing or opening up, and Neil has a handy lead over Mackenzie now.
Yeah, definitely.
So looking at this, I mean, it looks like a foregone conclusion, but we're 179 of 205. You just don't count anything out. Anything can happen here. We get a caution period. It'll bunch the field up, and we've seen this time and time again, where you get the fast guys on a restart, and they try to race each other, and somebody comes unstuck, and you've got somebody that you just wouldn't expect comes through for the win.
Yeah, yeah. Are you referring to my Talladega win?
I actually wasn't, and then halfway through that, I started to think to myself, that's exactly how Mark took the win at Talladega. But at the end of the day, look, a win's a win. It doesn't matter how you get it. As long as you get it clean, a win is a win.
Yeah, that's right. Look, if anyone's going to duck in and take tyres, I think they'd be starting to think about it. You know, we've got, 4 laps now, and you then now come into our rule where you're allowed to deliberately block. And then you'll see some rubbing is racing if anyone gets close.
At the minute, the only one that's close is right down the bottom here. We've got Paul Drady looking at Scott McClintock. Actually, it looks like Scott that's looking at Paul. He's on the inside here, and he's making it work. So that is the closest battle of the race at the minute.
Yeah, and look, as I said, you know, we got 3 laps. Scott's teammates there, Jamie. So if Jamie can make a move and get in front, he'll play a blocker, which you're not really supposed to, but it does happen. But yeah, anything's a go. So
yeah, look, that's probably one of the more interesting aspects of stock car racing is you can do that kind of racing, and it's fully permissible in stock car racing.
definitely, you know, you go back to the old days. You see Dale and everyone, the Intimidator, just put moves on, just move people out of the road, and yeah, it's a little bit frowned on nowadays, but it still happens.
I mean, I've been the recipient of being pushed aside by another car, so it definitely ruffles your feathers when it happens. But yeah, if you're able to keep going, then all the better.
Yeah, definitely. I'd actually like to see a caution come out now, close everything up, and let's see what these guys can do with close racing. I still think on the performance up to now, it'll be Skurlock's race.
Yeah, look, with 20 laps of racing to go, a caution to be absolutely fantastic about now. But yeah, you're kind of right. It looks like it would be Skurlock's race, but you also know that if they're able to, if we got a caution period now and everyone jumped in for tyres and they were all on level pegging, it would be on. Having said that, though, you know, Skurlock would have Gallagher and Neil behind him, who have both got injured cars, so they probably wouldn't be able to race as hard as they'd want to.
Definitely not. I mean to say, if you look down the field there, like you got Skurlock, Gallagher, Neil with damaged car, Gallagher, Neil, damaged car. Darren's looks like a clean car. Gary's carrying a little bit of damage. Ruben's carrying damage. I'd say the first clean car, or reasonably clean car, is Paul Jackson, and he's down in 9th.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, interesting turn of events. But at the moment, it's kind of not looking like we're going to see a safety car. Matter of fact, let's say that we're not going to see a safety car, and it might be the commentator's curse.
JP, look at the two cars on screen, 97 and 231.
Yep.
We've already seen them come together 2 or 3 times tonight.
You think there's
and
a bit
of back close racing again?
You think there's a bit of payback there in mind from 129?
Ah, yeah, it could be.
Look at this. Hello. Oh, was that a bit of a brake check?
I can tell you now, this will come under scrutiny with the race admins after in the post-race. I think it may be looked at, but in saying that too, that's good hard racing. So we'll see what happens. Let's keep an eye on that and just see how it turns out, because that's now opened the door for Scott to move up.
It may not necessarily be Paul brake checking. It just may be that Paul, I think it was Paul Drady, is just carrying a lot more speed.
No, I think that's Dylan, mate. I think that's Dylan Davies.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yep, it is. Yeah.
But you know, it's when you're close racing like this, you've got I think Dylan's a lap down, is he? Yeah, Dylan's a lap down. Paul's on the lead lap, so all bets are off. You can race hard.
Yeah, this is interesting actually. Up front, there's these guys have got a gap, but the race is right down here with at the moment with McClintock and Jackson. And McClintock looks like he's putting a move here. He's on the inside. Oh, look at this! Oh, no! That was scary. That was our safety car.
Oh, I wouldn't count one out yet. As I said at the start, wouldn't be surprised if we see a green-white checker for the 5th time this season.
Yeah, well, like we were saying before, they have turned the wick up. Here we go.
And this is for position. This is for 9th and 10th.
Looks like Scott's been able to get that move done, but Paul's coming back at him. He's having none of it. That high line gives a really good drive.
See, Scott's not on that right on that bottom line. He's that one lane out. And by the look of it,
there we go.
He's got the job done.
He's covered the move. Yeah, well done. And it took him a few laps to get there, but yeah, he's been able to cover him off, and now he's marching on.
You can see why this is called the Magic Mile of this track. It's certainly turned on some magic racing tonight.
Yeah, it's been absolutely phenomenal, the racing tonight. Oh, look at this. Michael Skurlock's coming up into some heavy traffic now. Although Hamish Gallagher's almost 2.5 seconds behind him, so it's not really going to play into his hands that much.
Paul's going to want to stay on the lead lap here, so you may see a fight. And then again, you may just see, his move looks like he's going to move aside and let Michael go.
Yeah, I was going to say this might play into Hamish's hands, but at the end of the day, Hamish has got to cut through the same traffic that Michael just did.
Yeah, most definitely. So with 10 laps to go now, we see what happens.
So we've seen Reece Politho come in for a stop. No one else has blinked. Looks like they've all got enough fuel to get to the end. I'm just wondering.
You can see in the distance, Scott's got some speed now that he's got past those past Paul and everyone. But I think he may have left his run too late.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's a bit of fuel saving going on here.
Very well could be. So yeah, because one said, as I said, the two drivers I asked, one said go away. So obviously he probably was a little bit worried, and the other bloke said, I'm good to the end.
Who were they?
My old teammate Scott and Jamie.
Oh, nice. We're just going to have to clue them up when the commentators ask you questions, you got to answer.
Yeah. At least we kind of sort of got an answer out of one of them.
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see how they go.
And again, if we go back, we've got Paul and Dylan at it again. And they've got to be careful, because if they get into each other and they take out Hamish, they will definitely come under the scrutiny of the stewards post-race.
Yeah, absolutely. Right about now, I would not like to be in Hamish's shoes, although, look, he's gone nice and low there. It looks like he's going to make the move stick, but he's still got these guys above him that are fighting for real estate. So, oh, look at this. No, he's got it done.
Yeah, he's safe. But as he gets past, look at these two. They're still going to fight him in the sense that...
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
I think Paul stepped aside there, just playing it safe.
Last thing you want to be responsible for is taking out one of the top three.
Yeah. Look, I think Paul played it safe. Dylan's 2 laps down. Paul's 1 lap down. So I think Paul has settled that he's not going to get much further to go, further than what he is. So let it go and just settle and get points.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go, 5 laps to go, and Michael Skurlock has just checked out. He's now got a 5-second lead on Hamish Gallagher.
That's unbelievable. It's not when you look who it is, but yeah, it's unfortunate, as you said, JP. Hamish got mixed up in that early incident and got that damage, because I really think it would have been a ding-dong battle between these two guys.
Absolutely, would have been great to see the battle between those two guys, but you know, that's racing.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, we're
Caution,
going to
here we go.
So the question is, who dives into the pits and takes tyres? If anyone.
You better go out and get yourself a lotto ticket.
I definitely think we're
Look
going
at that.
overtime.
Look at this.
Oh.
This is going to hurt.
Oh, yeah. I cannot believe he missed everyone. So, JP, this is a brave thing. When we go green, we're going to have 2 laps. We're going to have a green,
look at this.
Green white.
Look at this.
Darren McKenzie's
Hamish
in.
has gone in.
Hamish.
Barry's gone in. Darren's gone in. Gary Wellman's gone in. Ruben's gone in.
Now we've got Scott's got the wave around. So if I was Scott here, and this is exactly what I did at Talladega, I was a lap down. I dove in with 20 to go. Everyone else stayed out. I took fresh rubber and came through. So let's see if history repeats and we can see Scott come through and really put on a challenge. His car looked pretty straight. But in saying that, look who's Paul's a lap down, so he's not going to play into this. He'll probably get told to drop to the end.
Now have a look at this. This is really going to be on. So 3 to go. So is this a green and white checker?
Yes, definitely will be, mate. By the time the field lines up, and yeah, it'll be overtime.
So
it's just come up over race control. The final caution, we're here for a green-white checker, and there's only 1 green-white checker attempt.
So you're Troy Davidson. You haven't gone in for tyres. You know the two guys behind you have, and they're fast. You hold them up, or you just let them go.
Green, white checker, anything's on. Troy, and don't forget, Troy's carrying a lot of damage. So, with the state of his car, if it was me, I'd just be stepping aside because I know that car's not going to have the downforce, and it will be very, very loose.
So this is going to be very looks like no, he hasn't gone in. Troy's right there. So yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting on the restart.
So this also may cause havoc with some of these fuel. Some of these guys may have just had enough fuel, and they haven't taken tyres. They've just dove in and taken a splash.
Okay. Yeah, look at Troy's car. The whole front end on his car is missing, so he's going to have a hard time of it on the restart.
Yeah, and you watch Hamish here. He will not let Michael get away. He will stick to Skurlock's backside like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, and we've also got Darren there too, so
he is right on him.
Yep, and he hasn't missed the jump either. And Barry's up into third. Darren's
right underneath him.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Darren's trying to go the long way around the outside.
Here we go, final lap.
Final lap. So who will it be? Looks like Hamish got the inside run.
He's got a good run.
Oh
no!
Barry tried to squeeze there, but it's now on for third. Who will take third?
Look at this. Gary Wellman looks like he's going to take third. There we go.
That's an unbelievable finish. What a drive by from Hamish from the rear all the way through to take the win. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And that pit stop was, that was the right call. And you need to, tomorrow morning, you need to go out and buy yourself a lotto ticket because you called it green and white checker.
I think I've just used the luck up then, mate.
Look at that. Yeah, no burnout. I don't have enough fuel for it.
No, definitely not.
And that was extremely... Look at Barry's car. It looks like half a foot narrower.
Yeah, there's a lot of second-hand cars there.
Well, let's have a look at these results because this was an absolutely amazing race. So, after 205 laps, Hamish Gallagher comes out on top. Barry Neal second, Gary Wellman in third, Michael Skurlock choosing not to pit and coming home fourth, Ruben Phelps in fifth, Paul Drady sixth, Darren McKenzie in seventh, Troy Davidson eighth, ninth, Scott McClintock, nicely done, top 10 there, Rispolitho in 10th, over the page, Paul Jackson in 11th, Dylan Davies 12th, Jamie Nankervis in 13th, Aidan Schultz 14th, Adam Ariel 15th, Mark Smith 16th, 17th Tristan Koch, and 18th Stephen Williams. And then we've got our non-finishers, Cade Donnelly, Chris Connor, and over the page, Jason Holdsworth.
Unbelievable. What else can you say about it? Most definitely, mate. Most definitely. Yep, just give me 1 sec.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, good. A few things went my way at the end there, which yeah, was made a nice change. And yeah, I coughed over the line too. I thought I was going to lose it to Skirl up right at the end there because I was run out about 100 metres from the end, I think. So yeah, I should have put a few more litres in that last pit stop.
Well done, mate. Mark, I'll let you take the honours, and I'll start working the championship points.
Yep, no worries. So, Gary, did you end up finishing with a straight car, or it looked like a few little dents here and there?
Yeah, she's pretty good. Few wall rubs through the race, but yeah, no incident points, so kept it clean enough. And yeah, I think she was a few bit of optional repair there to do, but nothing that was slowing it down much.
That's good, mate. That's good. All right, we might move on to second place. Just hang around there, Gary, and we'll come back to you. Second place, our Kiwi friend, Ruben Phelps. How are you, Ruben?
Me?
Yeah.
What would I got? Fifth.
Did you get fifth? Okay, who's missing from third? Second. Sorry, second. Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can find Barry. He's probably gone missing again.
We swapped places.
You wish. Barry, third place. Second place, mate. How was the night? Do you think it went?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was. I was a bit lucky with the late caution there, and Skirley not taking tyres. I didn't have the pace for Skirley. Skirley was way too good for us, I think. And Hamish, they were both way too good for me tonight. I had a bit of damage there for the last 80 laps, so I was overheating, so I was having to trying to keep it cold. But yeah, I thought I was going to blow up actually.
Yeah, we kind of sort of said that when you got into the back there. I forget who it was.
It was Ruben,
Ruben. We were talking about countrymen not wanting to take each other out, and then you got into the back of him, and I said to JP, you'd be lucky not to have radiator damage. So was it getting over hot, or were you able to manage to keep it under the boiling point?
Yeah, no, yeah. Pointed that I got into the back of him. I just kind of caught him coming out of the corner. I didn't quite mean to give him a tap like that, but yeah, no, she was getting up to like 124, 125 degrees, which starting to get close to him and wanting to blow. So you know, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah. So how much fuel did you have in the tank at the end? Did you have enough, or did you have to take a good splash when you last stopped?
I was saving fuel as well. So on that last run, that last 30 laps or whatever, A, I was trying to keep the temperature down, and B, I was trying to save some fuel because I was a litre out, and it was taking me a long time to try and get that litre back. I just couldn't get that litre back. Every lap, it kind of kept on telling me I was going to be a litre short, and I'd try something else. Tried to keep the car cold and trying to save some fuel so that I could actually make it over the line. I don't know, I had like 5 seconds or something on Darren, so I think I would have been able to coast around that last lap and probably made it. But she would have been tight.
Yeah, definitely. All right, stay there, Barry. We'll go to the race winner. It seems like this bloke, every time he turns up, he ends up at the pointy end. So, Hamish, congratulations, mate.
Thanks, Mark. I didn't really deserve this win tonight, but I guess you got to take him when you can get him.
Yeah, Mark,
Definitely.
I'm just going to jump in here real quickly. Michael Skurlock led 178 of those 205 laps. Hamish Gallagher led 2 laps, but it's not how many laps you lead, it's where you finish at the checkered flag. So well done.
Oh, yeah, thanks, JP. I mean, I think Skirley was class of the field tonight. Although I pretty much had damage the entire race, so I never quite knew what I had for him anyway. I think me and Barry were pretty close when I had damage, and then when he got damage as well, it obviously just sort of tipped the balance in my favour. I was going to be okay on fuel. I was 1 lap to the good, but when I came in and took tyres right at the end there, my button box didn't work and I didn't take any fuel, so I was I had the thing shut off under caution at the very end there, just trying to make it, and coughed on the line there, so I was pretty close. Almost lost it. That would have been a pretty stupid way to lose it, but yeah.
Man, I picked it. I said to JP at the start, I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen a green-white checker here, and it did come down to the green-white checker. How did you find the racing through the night? Did you believe the track came in and got faster, or do you believe it probably went away?
I really only know how to drive this place one way, and it didn't really work, or how the track conditions were. I was struggling. Yeah, like I say, Skirley and Barry, I think if we all had clean cars, I would have finished third to both of them tonight. But it's yeah, that's how it is, I guess.
All right, mate. Before we let you go, we'll start from the top and go back down. Yeah, anyone you'd like to thank for your sponsors or anything like that, mate?
Is that me?
Yeah, you, Hamish.
Yeah, I guess just thank the team, thank you guys for the broadcast and for all the work you do, Mark, with running this league.
It's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure to have you guys come up and race with us. I know you can't make every week, but it's a real pleasure, and I know some of the other guys enjoy racing against you when you can turn up.
Yes, thank you, Mark.
No worries. Barry, anyone you'd like to thank for tonight?
Yeah, RTL Racing, MRX Race Sims, Paul Jackson, my teammate, and you guys for putting it on. And actually, for everyone else that turns up and races, you know, it's great to see 20 odd people. We always want more, but it's great that people turn up and want to race.
Yeah, it's a hard night, Saturday night, but you know, I will say thank you to everyone that turns up, and also everyone that tunes in to watch the broadcast. So I will say thank you, and again, well done, Barry, on second place.
Thanks, mate.
Gary, anyone you'd like to thank for the night and your team?
Yeah, again, just you guys for putting it on. It's yeah, always good. I don't get to do too many Saturday night races, but yeah, good fun. And yeah, it's good clean racing from everyone tonight. And yeah, as always, the Sim boys, we yeah, it's good to see that we're cracking a podium a bit more often now, and we're running up the podium end a bit, which is always good result for the boys.
Yep, that certainly is, and it's good to see more of your guys getting in and having a run with us. So there you have it, JP, the top 3, and the fifth green white checker for the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolute cracker of the race, and just reiterating what Hamish Gallagher said. You know, tonight Michael was definitely the class of the field. He dominated and controlled the race, you know, for pretty much most of the race. But unfortunately, that last stop, you know, maybe if he dove in and took some tyres, it would have been a completely different result. But you know, that's racing, and that's part of the strategy of racing. So I guess at this stage, let's have a look at the championship results and see how everyone's stacking up. So, no, that's not it. Let's try again. There we go. So Darren
That looks a bit better.
Darren McKenzie still holding that lead at 6:63 with Paul Jackson right behind him. Dylan Davies in third. Stephen Williams in 4th, David Durant in 5th, Josh Carroll in 6th, 7th, Scott McClintock, Ruben Phelps in 8th, 9th, Barry Neal, 10th, Adam Ariel, and we'll go over the page for the next 10. Mark Johansson in 11th, Mark Smith in 12th, Tristan Koch in 13th, Hamish Gallagher 14th, Damien Nankervis in 15th, Greg Spencer 16th, Kobe Jordan in 17th, 18th, Nigel Patton, 19th, Brad Allison, and rounding out the top 20, Nathan Legg.
There's definitely some movers there in that top 20. A few guys have come up and a few guys have gone down. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting last 12, 13 weeks of the season.
Yeah, 100%. And what we're seeing is, once again, you know, with tonight's finish, Darren McKenzie finishing in 6th place, you know, his consistency is just allowing him to keep edging those points forward and staying at the top of the league.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's going to be a challenging end of the season. You know, if JCW can get back and do some more races, might be a few guys that might be able to catch Darren for the championship. So it's going to be a tough end of the season, especially with some of the races we got coming up. You know, we go to Charlotte next week for the Firecracker 600, the 600k race there. We're back to Talladega later on in the season, and then we've got some the iRacing. We go to Nashville also, and then Daytona. So we've got some super speedways coming up.
Yeah, that'll be some great racing, and yeah, really interesting to see how this season pans out.
Definitely will. I'd just like to say congratulations to our top 3 again. Well done, well driven, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yep, absolutely. Congratulations to tonight's podium. Well raced, guys. And yeah, as we start to wrap up, let's look ahead on the SimShed broadcasting platform to see what we've got coming up. Tuesday night we have the Real Sim Racing Australia Super Series, and don't pay any attention to that 8:20 p.m. We will be going live a lot earlier. Matter of fact, we're going to be probably going live at around 7:30 because we have a 73 lap endurance race around the Chicago street circuit. So this is a circuit that was developed by iRacing. It's a fantasy circuit, 73 laps of the V8 supercars around there. Should be some interesting racing. We're going to back that up on the Wednesday night with the Real Sim Racing Australia Super 2 E-Series, once again going live at about 7:30 with another 73 laps for these guys. And then, of course, Saturday night with Weekend Warriors Cup Car Racing. So your entree on Tuesday, main course on Wednesday, and dessert on Saturday nights on the SimShed Broadcasting Network. So that's pretty much about it for me. Mark, once again, thank you for joining me tonight in the commentary booth. It's great to have you here and makes my job so much easier.
No worries, mate. Just before we go, if anyone's interested in the V8s, definitely get in and tune into those 2 races, because Chicago Street Circuit is a tough track.
It's an insanely difficult track. I've done a hot lap video for that, and I was working my butt off for about, I did maybe half a dozen laps. I was working my butt off for that. These guys are going to be doing 73 laps, so we're going to be looking at almost 40 cars doing 73 laps on Tuesday, backed up by another 40 cars doing another 73 laps on Wednesday night. So it'll be some interesting. It'll be very, very interesting. But for now, that's it from myself and Mark from the Weekend Warriors. I'm JP. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast of SimShed Broadcasting, wherever you are around Australia and around the world. That's it from us, and so we're just going to say good night.
Yep. Good night, everyone, and thanks